Welcome back to the Callisto Protocol. Last time we made it through and we got Danny like a temporary cure, I guess. And I feel like we're getting pretty close to the end of the game. I mean, we escaped Black Iron Prison, we made our way into the habitat, we almost escaped, and then we went down into the colony. We found out what happened on Europa, came up here, met the doctor. It seems like there's pretty much nobody left except the warden, and now we gotta go find the warden and get a cure for Danny, so I feel like we're getting pretty close. Okay. Well, get moving. Man, this place is like pristine. Ooh, is that a reforge? Well, it was pristine, past tense. Is that actual animals, or is that just animal sounds? Guess we'll never know.
Printing. Have a united day.
That's a thing of beauty. Let's just sell that. We would be... two credits short of 2,700. We got the upgrade for that. I think the only thing left would be that and the grip. But do we care about getting the max capacity upgrade on the grip right now? Or it's only one shell. Uh, 3,600, man. We could also dump it into ammo for the riot gun or the hand cannon. You know, let's get a grip recharge.
Have a united day.
That, I feel like that cleaned out our inventory pretty good. Yeah. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel, though. We only have 16 shots left for the hand cannon. Man. What do we have? Okay, we got the skunk gun on. Oh. Health pack. Okay, there's some ammo. Where did it go? Okay, hand cannon. Oh, it's right there. Kind of concerning that there's an explosive canister here.
greater risk is in failing to act, especially when the commonality is
Oh.
finally within our grasp. And
We didn't get to explore.
right on.
Oh. I want to explore. I don't think there was anything else to pick up around here.
The choice is yours.
Okay, we'll do this again quick. Did we get the recharge? I think we got the recharge, right? That's horrible. I should know what we got. We literally just did it like a minute ago.
Happy United Day.
Okay, so we don't go into that door yet. That's where we're supposed to go. Got a health pack. Oh, come on, skunk gun ammo. Please don't be enemies in here. Oh, we got something big coming. That's a lot of health. That is a lot of health. Wow. Yeah, that's all health. Health and explosive canisters. That's a little concerning. So what do we got? 12, 34, and 16. Okay. Well, let's go for it.
The greater risk is in failing to act, especially when the commonality is finally within our grasp. And right on time. He approaches. The survivor.
Are those
Where's the Alpha?
like aliens, or are those just masks on people?
I'm not gonna let her die.
Your friend. I've been watching you. You and your so-called friend. You're not the innocent you claim to be. You've proven that you'll do just about anything to ensure your own survival.
As anyone should.
And what about you, huh? Watching people die for fun? Is that your protocol?
No. You are mistaken, Mr. Lee. The protocol isn't about death. It's about life. Our
From what
future
we've
lies
seen,
out there.
what we've seen throughout the game, It is
We were not built for life.
most assuredly
This fragile
the result
shell
of
holds us
massive
back.
amounts of death.
We have to evolve if we are to survive. And now you'll all see why. Proof that my methods are worth the risk. A final contest to determine the true survivor.
Oh,
Humanity.
buddy. That's why we got the health pack sitting there. Is this room going to open up into the outer hall? 10 out of 10. Did not expect.
Well, 5, 2, 1. You're really a thank you. At first I thought this was a curse. But then I realized it is a gift. Someone has opened my eyes, shown me my purpose. Now, I'm gonna show you.
Come at me, bro. Oh, come on, I dodged that. Oh, come on, that's so cheap. I don't know why it drops all the dodges. Like, I'm sitting here holding the analog stick over. No, got greedy. Like that.
No one to save you now.
Oh, buddy.
No more tricks. No escape this time. I've played you. I've beaten everyone. I told you.
Uh-oh.
What's happening to me?
Uh-oh. Oh, buddy. Phase 2, is it? My thoughts exactly. I love it when game characters can read my thoughts.
There's always a price.
He gets a shield? Ow! Can you not? Oh, come on, man. No! What? What? Is that seriously a one-shot? I mean, we were at like half health, but still. What? What? Dang, man. This is ridiculous. You can start me on the skunk gun again? Can we not? That is so annoying. What? 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 Oh, is that those stupid exploding enemies? Oh, did we get him? We have like no ammo left. Just skunk gun. Woo boy. Oh, did he just pull that out of his eye? Oh, that is messed up, man. Did it have to come from the eye?
You think you've beaten us? Ferris was weak. An imperfect vessel.
Well, I thought you said he was your
Then
alpha.
that sample is the key to unlocking a centuries-old dream.
Cool story.
That's not failure, Mr. Lee. That's progress. And it belongs to me.
Come and take it, bro. What are you gonna do?
Please. This is no time for false heroics. Leave the sample and walk away. There's an escape pod up there. To take you back to the life you once had.
Just blast him and take the escape
We
pod.
can both have everything we want.
No, blast him. Take the escape
Tell
pod.
me, Mr. Lee. What do you want?
I'll tell you what I want. I want my sister back, fucker!
Oh, he's a hologram. He can't do anything anyway.
A valiant effort. But surely you know by now, I never lose.
No. This time you do.
Such a waste. All this to save one life. Don't think you've stopped us. The data gathered here will carry the protocol to the next phase. As for you,
Self-destruct sequence initiated.
What would the ending of a good game be without a self-destruct sequence?
and Mr. Lee, I do hope you've enjoyed your stay at Black Iron.
Reactor core approaching critical.
This way.
I'm confused. Why does this hologram walk away? Holy crap.
Move!
Wow, we got like super sprint activated.
Hurry!
We've never run this fast yet. I don't know if this is on an actual timer. Like if this will just continue to collapse until you actually make it out, or if like you stop and turn around, you'll
Almost there! I see the pods!
There's just one.
You could both fit in there. Oh, I guess there's only one pod space to be strapped in.
What you're doing?
I didn't. But I do now. I can't keep running from what I've done.
What are you talking about?
Sorry. For everything. I do belong here.
Don't do this. Jacob! Jacob!
Dang.
Complete.
That transfer worked both ways. He learned more about me, and I learned more about him. In the chaos of the moment, I didn't realize he had also given me the evidence I was looking for all along. Sacrificed his life so that I could expose the truth.
What a bro.
Was he trying to make up for the pain he caused? Or just chasing some kind of redemption? Either way, I hope he found some peace.
Now, for some people, it's not really about redemption. It's just about trying to make things right once you realize what happened. Well, I think he's toast.
Jacob, there might be a way out after all,
Oh,
Reactor core temporary safeties activated.
but I'm going to need your help.
what? What a strange ending. Interesting. Okay, well, I guess that's roll credits. Yeah, hopefully, if you made it this far, hopefully you had fun on this adventure into our... We don't take very many adventures into survival horror, mainly because I'm very bad at them, as you've seen if you made it this far. The only one I think we've really done, and I don't know if you can actually even call it survival horror, it's more of a horror-themed action-adventure game with RPG elements, would be Enchant. I think. But anyway, we made it through the Callisto Protocol. We survived. We didn't have to do anything stupid like move it down to easy mode. It's an achievement. And there's plenty of others I want to tackle too. Like, obviously at some point I'd like to do the Resident Evil franchise. With the exception of some. Like, Resident Evil Gaiden on Game Boy, I'm not really interested. I don't have a copy of that. Nor do I ever want a copy of that, because it's, from what I've seen, last I saw, it was stupidly expensive to buy it, and I mean, it's a Game Boy title. I mean, it's probably fun, but at the same time, from what I've seen of the gameplay, it feels like it could be like repetitive and monotonous, but the rest of the series, like the mainline entries 0 through 9, even the other ones like Code Veronica, that would be fun to get into that. The remakes versus the originals, Resident Evil Survivor. I do want to get into the Fatal Frame series at some point, since we got the remake of Fatal Frame 2 out. And I have all of them. Like, I have the 1, 2, and 3 on PS2. I have the remake of 2 just kind of sitting here, waiting for me to pop it in. What else? I have 4 and 5 on Steam, and I believe I have them on PS5 as well from the PlayStation Store. 5 at a minimum. Maiden of Darkwater. I know for sure I have that one on PS5. What else do we have? There's the Silent Hill games. I've been wanting to get into Silent Hill 2, the remake, since it came out, and we just haven't been able to get there yet. There's the Dead Space games. I have the remake of that. And the originals. All kinds of good stuff. But yeah, as far as this game goes, the combat feels extremely satisfying. Like, it's super visceral, and all the hits feel like it's really thick and chunky. Like, when you hit something, especially when you upgrade your damage output, you really feel like you're causing some severe damage with how, like, the wind up, the impact, the noise. Everything just feels super gritty and impactful. So, like, the combat in this game, even though it's like melee focused mainly, really satisfying. I could see this being something that, like, you just throw it on easy after, like, rough day at work or something, or like you just need to decompress, whatever. You throw this game on easy, run around and just slug stuff. Super satisfying. The weapons, though, were kind of... I feel like they were all kind of really similar. Like, the hand cannon was its own thing, but then having the skunk gun, that was kind of meh. The riot gun was awesome, and we didn't try the tactical pistol or the assault rifle because the damage output didn't seem like it was worth it, and I didn't want to waste any of the ammo drops that we could potentially get. Because like, if you don't have the gun in your inventory, you're not going to get ammo drops for it. So if I was to play through this again, I would not buy the skunk gun. I would get the hand cannon because you have to, as part of the story, and the riot gun because you have to as part of the story, and I would just max those out and save our credits. And then use those credits that we save from not upgrading the skunk gun, and similarly avoiding the tactical pistol and the assault rifle, and just use those credits to upgrade the grip. and our, what do you call it? The stun baton damage output. The story for this was, I feel like it was kind of basic. Like, not really much to it. But in survival horror, I find there really isn't usually much to the story. Like, it's usually pretty surface level. Just, like, think about it. We were a guy on a ship doing, like, a supply drop-off to Callisto. Turns out it was bioweapons, or somebody thought it was bioweapons and attacked our ship. We crash landed on the planet, got thrown in prison for no reason other than we've crash landed on the planet. And then we discovered there was a virus outbreak, and then we had to try to escape the prison. And then we learned about where the bioweapon came from. The fact that then we learned that, oh, maybe we didn't actually have a bioweapon. And then it turns out we did have a bioweapon. And then we find out the group responsible for it, and the fact that there was the colony under the prison where the original alien was found. And then we try to escape and have to get a cure and send one of the two on an escape pod out to expose the secrets. And I feel like with that ending, it almost implies that there's going to be, at some point, a part 2, possibly, where I would assume that the main character here doesn't survive, based on the ending we saw, unless there's a scene after. But it would be like a part 2 where the warden and the circle, whoever the circle is, have another outbreak somewhere else where they're trying to implement their Callisto protocol somewhere else. And you would kind of play through as Danny, I'm assuming. It's been quite a while though. Like, when was this released? Let me see what the case says. 2022. It's been 4 years and we've heard nothing. So I would say a part 2 to Callisto Protocol is on the less likely side. The sound design in this game is phenomenal. I would highly recommend, if you're playing through this, slap on a good pair of headphones, because man, the 3D sound, you hear enemies banging around in the air vents, and you get the actual sound panning, and it's fantastic. And the music, when you have enemies coming at you, like the battle music, it's super nerve-wracking. Especially when you're down in the colony and you got those blind enemies where you're compelled to just creep around in like stealth to try to sneak attack them and hope you don't get spotted because you'll have a horde of like 10 of them on you. It's nerve-wracking, man. Overall, though, like, we played through on normal. And yes, I died a lot, but I was expecting to die a lot because I suck at survival horror games. When we play through whatever we play through next, you can expect this experience, and depending on the natural difficulty of the game, like if it's supposed to be a harder game, probably even worse. With the exception of maybe a few, like Resident Evil 5, I'm very familiar with that because, like, when I was younger, I had to have surgery and I got really sick after. How old was I then? I don't know. That was a long time ago. We're talking like in the early 2000s. That would have been probably around like 2007, 2008. So quite a while ago. But I got sick after. And I was out of commission for a long time. But I had an Xbox 360 at the time, and I got the collector's edition of Resident Evil 5 when it came out. And I played that game to death. I dumped well over 200 hours into it. So I was like decently good at it. Like, I've played through on all the difficulties. I've pretty much been back and forth through that game. I haven't played it in a long time, so I'm not as familiar with it now, but I would be fairly confident playing through it now that we would do fairly well. What else? But I mean, we played through this on normal, and we survived, and it wasn't it wasn't an absolute struggle where we were on the verge of being like soft locked because we ran out of ammo and didn't have any credits. We had a pretty respectable amount of ammo towards the end. We probably used it, almost all of it, on that last boss. That last boss was cheap though. They throw the exploding enemies at you. Like, that's just dumb. And that's one thing that I would actually complain about is there's like, the enemy variety is decent. You have the enemies in Black Iron, like the inmates and the security guards. And then you get into the spitters and all the enemies like that. And then you get into the parasite-based things and then the evolution of those enemies with the parasites. Then you get into the blind enemies and the enemies in the colony, which are basically like the prisoners. But for bosses, there was almost no variety. You had those two-headed things that you fought 4 times? 3 times or 4 times? I feel like it was 4. And it's not until like the last 2.5 chapters of the game where you run into them. So you have the main enemy that they use as a boss, which is those two-headed guys. And then you just have varying degrees of difficulty where they start throwing different enemies in the mix with them. And then you have to fight Ferris twice. So the first time you fight him, you just have to survive, and then he's the final boss where he has 2 forms. And you basically don't have to use any ammo on Ferris in the first form. You can just beat him with your club. Mind you, I didn't try to hit him when he was in his second form with our stun baton. I don't know if you can, because I feel like the weak point was the shield over his face that you have to wear down and then hit him in the head. And I don't know if your stun baton would register that high up. I don't know. It would be worth doing a New Game Plus playthrough on normal just to get back to that point, just to see if you could beat the game basically without using any ammo. That'd be kind of cool. Mind you, I don't know if you could take on those two-headed guys without ammo, because every time I've tried to hit them in this playthrough, every time I tried to hit them with a stun baton, they just grabbed it and we got launched. So I don't know if it's possible to actually hit them without some kind of projectile weapon. But anyway, overall, the game was, in my opinion, the game was fantastic. The visuals were awesome. They really dialed it up on the gore, and you can really tell that the development team was, in very large part, people who developed the original Dead Space, because of aspects of the gameplay, like the grip glove. What else? You didn't get a line gun, but it was kind of like futuristic weapons. Like, you have the hand cannon, and you have different things that you build onto the unit. Like in Dead Space, you get the what was it? I don't remember what they're called, but you get like a pulse rifle. You get the line cutter. You get another one that's like a big long line. You get all kinds of cool stuff in Dead Space, but you can feel the similarities in at least the firearm weapons in this. It's just in Dead Space, they were more like engineering application focused in like a futuristic perspective, where these are just like straight up firearms. They're just straight up guns. The only difference with this, though, is that in Dead Space, there really is no melee combat. I don't know about the remake because I haven't played that yet, but in the original, there wasn't really any close range melee combat. You just had your line cutter weapons, and that was it. So that's the big thing with this, was the addition of the melee combat, and you could see the aspects of Dead Space here. Like, we already mentioned the grip glove, but the stomp mechanic especially, that was a big thing in Dead Space. I remember playing the original Dead Space and Dead Space 2, and to a lesser extent Dead Space 3. I didn't play that one as much. I've played and beaten all of them, but I used to have a blast running around in Dead Space 1 and 2 just stomping on stuff. It feels so, like, what's the word? Satisfying? Just slap the enemies down and just stomp on them. I feel like some of the enemies in this game, though, move at like hyper speed, and it's kind of disorienting a little bit. And it's not what you would expect. I don't know if they tone it down on easy, but I guess it is what it is. But I mean, you can hear from this background track, the sound design is just fantastic. Now, I do know that there is DLC for this, and I'm not sure if we want to do it or if we want to move on, because I don't know how long necessarily the DLC is supposed to be, and I don't know if it adds anything impactful to the story. I have to assume, though, if the DLC is called Final Transmission, just taking a stab in the dark here, I would have to assume that the DLC would follow the story of what happens to Jacob after he launches Danny in the escape pod. I may be wrong. I wouldn't be the first time. But I don't know if that necessarily matters. Because I feel like he's probably not going to survive anyway, right? I guess, well, you know what? I'll see how much it is. Because if it's stupidly expensive, then I'll put it off, kind of like we did with, kind of like what we did with Dredge. I'll put off playing the DLC until it like goes on sale or something, and then come back when I can land it on sale. Which I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure at some point coming very soon, we'll see like the PlayStation Network have like their summer sale or something, or I don't know, some kind of sale. They usually always have one going on, but who knows? It might even be on sale right now. But I'll go check in the PlayStation Store, and if it's not on sale right now, then I'll wishlist it and I'll get the notifications when it does go on sale. And then we'll just play something else until it goes on sale. So we have no shortage of games to cover. I have a shelf, 2 shelves behind me, 2 bookshelves with, I'm going to say well over 400 or 500 games to play. Some of which we've already played, but some of which I want to revisit, like Stranger of Paradise. I want to revisit that. But, and then there's not even counting my Steam library. My Steam library is massive and bloated because of the Humble Bundle. And we got boatloads of games to play there too that I don't have on like PS5 or the other consoles. We got a lot of legwork because my goal is to play and beat every game in my collection, with the exception of a few. Like, I'm not gonna do a playthrough of games like Family Feud on the NES. I'm not gonna do a playthrough of, I don't know, Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit on the PS1. What else? I don't know, there's all kinds of stuff. Mind you, it would be kind of fun to play some Twisted Metal. Because I have Twisted Metal 2 and 4 on PS1. Those would be fun. They're not really my thing, though. Like, I was never big into those. They're fun. I like the theme of them and what they get at, and they're neat to play with your friends, but I was always more into single-player campaign games. Like, specifically RPGs. Games like survival horror. I mean, survival horror is one of my absolute favorite things. I'm just bad at it, as we've seen here. I'm amazed we made it through this as well as we did. But like, I have a stack of games here beside me, just on PS5, that we want to play through that would get us probably well into 2027. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of them sitting here. Stretching back. 11 if you take Stranger of Paradise out, though. But we got a lot. We got a lot of legwork to go. But, I mean, I guess, final thoughts on this. If you haven't played it, play it. Definitely play it. You have unlocked New Game Plus. Welcome to New Game Plus. Play through the story again with all your weapons, upgrades, and Callisto credits. Collect them at the first Reforge. How far into the game is the first Reforge? I don't remember. I would be curious I'd be curious to see what the game is like on easy. Just to see if we can go through and get the rest of the audio logs. But yeah, that's the Callisto Protocol, the main game anyway. If you haven't played it and you're just watching this to get an impression because you're interested in it and you didn't really care about the story because we spoiled the entirety of the story, I would definitely recommend picking it up because there might be stuff in here that I missed that you might find that might be worth going through. And it's just a fun game. The setting is really neat. The fact that like you're in a prison on a moon orbiting Jupiter. And then you get into the whole colony aspect that's underneath. The only complaint I have about this game, other than the lack of variety in the boss enemies, is those stupid enemies that they start throwing at you when you get to the habitat thing. The ones that are like, I don't know, we'll call them the dog enemies. They run on like all fours. The ones that kept manhandling us in the, what do we call it? The frozen outside place where we were trying to rescue that prisoner, or not prisoner, I don't even know what the guy was. It was just it was a guy that was asking for help, and we had to like ride out the waves of the enemies that were coming at us, and we had all those stupid dog enemies. Those enemies were horrible. But other than those enemies, and once you figure out how to deal with them, they're not really that bad. Like, you just get some heavy firepower and just conserve your grip energy so that you can throw the explosive canisters at them, and make sure that you're facing them when they're coming at you so that you can hold any particular direction, left or right, and dodge them, because that's possible to do, so that they don't just jump on you and scream in your face. Once you figure out how to deal with those guys, it's actually not too bad. And I find the beginning of the game is actually a lot harder than the end. Even considering how many times we died at the end, compared to the beginning, I found dealing with the enemies towards the end a lot easier. And I'm not talking specifically about the blind enemies. I'm talking about the normal enemies once you get back into Black Iron. And I think it's specifically to do with the damage upgrades we got on the stun baton. Because those, looking at where we were when we fought the first two-headed guy, we went through so much ammo. Those guys are damage sponges. But when we fought the second one, we barely used any ammo. We focused on knocking it down and then going at it with the melee attacks, the regular attacks, not the heavy attacks. And we took it out in 2 staggers, which is, I mean, the first fight took us, almost 10 minutes? So the damage upgrades, I feel like they pretty considerably increase your damage output. But yeah, if you haven't played this, definitely pick it up. Awesome experience, especially if you're a fan of Dead Space, you would probably like this to a degree. But the necromorphs hit completely different. The necromorphs were a very unique thing. And I'm glad they didn't try and replicate them here. But you do have the other things, like you have the grip glove. That's very, very Dead Space. And the stomp mechanic. It controls a lot like Dead Space. Like, your character movement at times does feel a little bit stiff, and that was a thing that I always found to be the case with Dead Space. But yeah, overall, fantastic game. If I had to put a number to it, what would I give this based on everything? I don't know if I would necessarily go through and score everything individually. I didn't, so that would probably take me a while to do because I'd have to go through all the components of the game. But overall, I would say this is a solid 7.5 to 8 out of 10 for me. Because it's not so ridiculously hard that I couldn't beat it. And it wasn't so ridiculously hard that, like, say you get absolutely mauled by a group of enemies, it's not so demoralizing that you get to the point where you just want to put it down, turn it off, and never touch it again. Every time we got manhandled and taken out, I just wanted to get back in there and try something different. So it's, I don't want to say it's easy, but, and it's not like the game goes easy on you, but it's not frustrating like some other games that I've played. Like there was a couple times in Black Myth Wukong that I just wanted to take the game and chuck it out the window. Some of those bosses were ridiculous. But this is, it's tough. It's a challenge, but it's fair. Except for the times where you're fighting a boss for the first time and you got explosive enemies that are creeping up behind the boss that you can't hit, and then they just jump on you and explode and you're dead. That's annoying, but like the game overall is fair. But solid 7.5 to 8. The sound design was phenomenal. The characters are there. They're there. They're definitely there. I don't know if I would go as far as to say likable, but they're there. Jacob's all right. As like, I mean, he does a good job as a protagonist. And you see his redemption arc at the end where he sacrifices himself to throw Danny in the escape pod. They didn't give Danny any kind of redeeming arc though. She just stayed kind of bitter, and then all of a sudden towards the end she's like, "No, Jacob, don't do this." So she just had a complete 180, and I think it's because they had their memory unit things linked, and she got an insight into his background. The story wasn't really nothing too deep. It's all kind of surface level, but it was fun. It's what you'd expect in a survival horror. They build the lore, and it's like, it's interesting enough to want to know what happens next, but it's not like super profound, earth-breaking stuff that has life lessons in it, and you know. But yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling because I have a bad tendency to do that. So I'm gonna check on the PlayStation Store, see if the DLC is on sale for this, and if it's not, I'm gonna wishlist it, and then we'll come back when after it's on sale. So we'll finish off. We'll move on to something new next. And once we're done playing through that, if the DLC has gone on sale by then, we'll come back and do the Final Transmission DLC and see what happens there, and then we could say we did the full thing. And it would be interesting to see in the coming months into the next like year or two if we get an announcement for Callisto Protocol 2. I don't know if the initial what do you call it? I don't know if the initial reception to this game was strong enough to warrant them going back and doing a second game. Mind you, the second game could have already been announced and I just don't know. That's a very distinct possibility, but that's what we'll do. We'll watch for the DLC to go on sale. If it's not on sale already, if it's on sale now, we might just jump straight into it. If it's not, we'll come back after whatever we play next and jump into that and go from there. So hopefully you had a blast on this adventure. One of our more different adventures, getting into something different that isn't necessarily an RPG. Because we do, I didn't intend for RPGs to be the main stuff of the channel, but that's just kind of how it worked out. Because RPGs are naturally what I gravitate towards, and I have a metric ton of them. But it's nice to get some variety in there. Like all kinds of different stuff. And this is some of the variety that I'd like to get more of on the channel, because RPGs can be tiring after a while if if that's all you're watching. But yeah, lots of good things, lots of fun games coming in the future. And whatever companies decide to release next. But for now, we'll delve back into the back catalog that I have, and we have others on the horizon, like Fatal Frame 2 that I have sitting beside me. Stuff that's a little bit more recent, like Silent Hill F. all kinds of fun stuff. So stay tuned, I guess. But if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. And if you want to see more videos like these, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And until next time, thanks for watching.